Welcome to Creative Chronicles. I'm your host, Biba Sheik, and joining me as co host is Jesus Washington, the lovely Jesus Washington.
Thank
And
you.
tonight we have a very special guest from Washington, D.C. His name is Edward Young III. He is a multisensory artist. Hello, Edward. Nice to see you. Um, So I'm going to begin by explaining to you a little bit about Edward's work. What I'd like to know is if the audience can hear him. so, um, so Edward Young the Third creates from deeply within, and he opens his heart and soul to new ideas for his future pieces by blending painting with graphic design and sound music into unique novel mixtures. And Young strives to provide rich experiences at the multiple levels to the audiences at hand. And I'm sure he's very concerned with how the audience receives his pieces.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Word,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Why don't you describe to the audience? Let me ask you the first question. Could you, what is the ideological meanings and intentions associated with your work?
I have more of a theory of ugly truth or pretty lie. And the whole thing is my artwork tends to the interior of people. Everybody sees outward. Nobody wants to talk about a lot of times what's inward. But this is where a lot of our problems lie. I had a massive problem with those things. And eventually
Can you
I had to start digging in order to figure out what it was.
Okay, ready? So, um, could you also then describe your process from chaos to form? You were telling me also today um, that you have developed in so many different lines of work, and at one point they all kind of merged together to create your your flow of meaning and process today's. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. It was more
Finish,
so
give
of
me a thumbs up.
yeah, yeah. I was more of a jumper. Um, and so I had all these things going on at once. This, and this. And I didn't focus as well as I should have. So a notion came up to combine this stuff, put it together. Because I would do one thing, I could listen to music or create music and still paint or do graphics. I'm doing it all at the same time anyway. So show everyone what it's one fuels the other.
Thank you. Okay, so
now I have a question for
mhm.
I have a question for you. Now it's what you do is like very animated, right?
Yes.
And and is it like something like that's new out here? Like is it are you like the only one out here or there's more like people that do this type of art?
I'm not sure. I know of some musicians that also do art. That's cool. Um, it's something about sound and shape and color that I group fell in love with. Sound, shape, and color, edges, curves, everything. Love it. And I just thought it was very interesting what I had stumbled across. Now, to the extent that I did this exhibition project coming up with 10 sounds and 10 paintings, uh, those songs really look like the paintings, and the paintings really match the songs. You could close your eyes and hear the song, or you can close your ears and know what the song is about when you see it. So it's very intense.
All right. And um, I'd like to read to the audience, I'd like to read to you all a quote of Edward Young, and then he can talk about this more. He says, "The creative gift that was given to me by the highest is a testimonial. It allows me to continue to move forward and to express the way I see things and how I feel about life in general." Could you can you tell us in what way it's a testimonial? Like what, I mean, a testimonial usually it's almost like a statement, and who is this testimonial to? Is it between, is it a story that you're writing and from a certain place in yourself for another part of yourself to understand, um, about all of the movements of life around you, or what would you say it is?
It's weird. It's very weird. Um, what happens is a lot of times this stuff happens before I even get into it. Um, but I'm more of an interior. All my artwork is from the interior. It's very important that we start looking at ourselves and what's inside of there. This way, we can change a lot of the outward actions and the outward movements, um, and the reactions. You can only give what you have. If you don't have these things inside you, you can't give them. And everybody has a different definition of a certain word, so you never know. Um, all this artwork is just a part of me. What I see, what I view, what I take in, what I go through.
Thank you. And I'd like to ask, um, now what are your thoughts before I ask you about your everyday.
Hear you.
Hear me? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Before I ask you about your everyday life as an artist and your, how you go about actually, putting everything together, your creative, process in the practical sense of the word, I'd like to ask you first something that's kind of like on the opposite extreme. Like, what are your thoughts about consumer art?
Uh, whew. Um,
Maybe you don't have any thoughts on it.
it's crazy because I'm really not. I like to, like I said, I like to present my artwork from the gut. I'm not into adjusting and bending. What what we go through on a day-to-day basis, people can relate to. Sometimes they don't want to relate to it, but they do deep inside. So I just want my artwork to be able to go in the office or in someone's home and they be able to reflect, whether it's humor, laughter, or anything else.
Mhm. And let me see. You like having discovered his works, because you asked him if there are other people who do the same kind of work as him or not, like what kind of the first time you ever saw his work, what kind of feeling do you get? But first, let me lead the public to your website in case any of you out there would like to go there right now. It is eayii.com, eayii.com, and there you can browse as you're tuning in.
He
Uh,
did say he's gonna show 10 paintings with the animation and everything.
yes, yes.
So the audience is gonna get to see his work.
You're going to be showing us this evening your
Um, we
paintings.
will show you some artwork.
If you are, give me a
Some
thumbs up. Yes,
some some.
yes, yes, yes. Okay. Wonderful. So, let us talk about before we see these 10 paintings and hopefully hear the music that goes with them. Um, I shouldn't put words in your mouth. You should describe it. I'm so sorry about that. Why don't you tell us about just the practical everyday life of the way you work in the everyday sense of the term?
Living life. Life is full of adjustments. Uh, you have to evolve, you have to grow, or you'll continue to go in a circle. It'll be a cycle. And being able to see those things and catch them and being able to express it and put it out and say, hey, man, through all this stuff, one, either I chose to, I didn't choose to, or just a stupid decision. And I gotta bite the bullet. And that's cool. That's cool.
Okay. I'm curious to know, um, now you said that you have developed in different lines of work, and that at some point you understood the key was overlapping them in some way, or doing this multimedium expression, multisensory, multimedium expression. But before this epiphany happened of understanding, how to create a space of oneness between them, did you ever feel it as how were you feeling this process? Because it's a lot of work. I mean, most people develop one line of work or two lines of work. So you were there developing as a you I mean, you're apart from being a CEO and a founder, you're also the cartoonist. You developed as a graphic designer. You developed fully as a painter, as well as a composer, musician, and singer. So, before reaching this oneness, did you ever feel it as some kind of like, was it something that you had to resolve? Was it something that you couldn't choose between one or the other, and you just felt compelled that you had to do all these things? And did you ever have the fear that this was something that other people weren't doing, and that it's kind of, it must have been a great solitude. I mean, did you feel any kind of like conflict in relation to this huge mega thing you were giving birth to?
Uh, the main thing was I had to learn how to balance personal life with artwork. I will make time for the artwork. I would do music in spurts. I would do paintings in spurts. I would do graphics in spurts. So it was managing the time. Basically, that's the biggest part. Um, and as far as just coming in the grass with it, I, I would I would do one while doing the other. I don't know how I split the time with that. In the personal life, I couldn't, but it's weird.
Yeah. Okay. We have to do the station ID.
Yes. You are watching Creative Chronicles. Sorry. You are watching Creative Chronicles, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other social media platforms. Um, Make sure you like, you share, you comment, and you subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. And you are watching um, Jesus Washington and Biba and
Our
our
guest
special
is
guest.
Edward Young III, joining us from Washington, D.C., a multi disciplinary artist who who creates a meeting point between sound and visual arts. In a few moments, I believe Mr. Young is going to um, give us
Display
that grace moment of grace to show us his
work.
artworks.
Yes.
Before that, I've heard that you were also starting up a kind of education program for youth, and I think it would be very interesting to talk about that as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes.
And so, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. The school, I was always intrigued by having a fine arts school at the time. Uh, we call it the Star Academy, uh, which will have lower middle income children. Um, we'll deal in all types of arts: culinary, ballet, painting, graphics, music, all of that. But the main thing is, I want to also have classes for budgeting, tax, credit, uh, job skills, all the tools they need that we don't learn in public school in order to get us over the hump. That's very important. Yes.
You're working on a lot of big things.
Hmm.
It's
Yes.
definitely a huge project, and it takes a lot of work to do something like that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And hopefully it will expand, and you will do it all around the United States.
Hmm.
It will. It will.
Um, the I know that if the youth could have this kind of work, it would definitely transform them. The inner shifts that an artistic experience can give a person is very very strong. It's your inner assemblage points can change, and inner masks can change, and a lot of how we feel and what we think is can just be taken in a big I don't know, in a big glob, and just you know done away with. And there's an endless uh, reblooming and rebirth of the inner tree or whatever it is.
Definitely, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So give me a thumbs up if you're going to show us visual artworks, because I have some sounds. Okay, great. Now, do you want me to play a song uh, for the public now, or do you want to begin
Yeah.
with visual?
We can do the song.
I play the song. Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. This is called "Laugh Now, Cry Later." Hang on a moment. Let's get it to the beginning there. Here we go. Control your emotion, Mr. Young, get so open. Sorry.
Hello. Yeah. Uh,
uh,
laugh now,
Oh,
cry later.
you want me to go
Laugh now.
if I can, if I can, if I
the
can.
Yeah.
previous
For some
one.
reason, for some reason, I don't. It's there's like a red line here, and I'm trying to go back to the beginning,
It's
and
okay.
somehow for some reason I'm not being able to. Do you mind, Edward, if I play the next song instead, because then I know I can get it from the beginning? Okay, so
Yeah.
you got a taste of Laugh Now, Cry Later, and now there's a song called Grindstone. Here we go. Is that right?
Hello.
Mm, that's so nice.
This one?
Stop. Just a second. All right. Now, there you go. That was the grindstone.
Um.
Mm, now
Yeah.
you can show us some visual
Some
artwork
things. Yes.
and all right. Let's see here. Hello, Debbie. We see you are here. Thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
Hi, Debbie. And Calibri. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Thank you, everybody, for watching Creative Chronicles.
We're almost there.
Mhm.
Is painting. Mhm. Oh, mm, oh, what's that? Mhm.
This is called.
So language.
Right. Can you talk about each painting?
Yes.
Mhm.
This is crazy.
Edward, I think it would be good if you could just hold it up to the a little
Camera.
bit, yeah, a little bit
Yes.
higher, and just leave it there for a moment. It's so poetic, and I thought the only word I can think of is languid.
Yeah. This is called Nothing Left.
The colors are, they're so different,
Hmm.
Yes.
they're very distinct, and you could see like everything. They're very
Yeah.
vibrant.
And what look at the even in the inner,
The
the inner
expression.
emotion, yeah, is something very particular, very broken in a way, but very, very wise. And I really, look at the back there, that arrow that's kind of pointing up,
Right.
and the it's hard to even, it's dark, but it looks like the sun.
Right.
Yes.
You think it's the sun,
This,
not the moon?
I don't know. I'm not really going to think about it, but I
yeah.
think it's very,
Well,
there's a figure behind it too.
Uh-huh.
All right. Can you show us the next one? Oh my God. Let's see.
You want to go ahead and talk about the painting?
this is called the classics.
Yeah, you can go ahead and talk about the
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah, this is called the classic. And it is reminds me of just pride and dignity that we used to
Give me a
have.
thumbs up if you're talking. Okay.
Yeah. This is about just pride and dignity when we didn't have much. We had more to hold on to and more worth keeping when we had less, believe it or not. I'm going to show the next one.
Oh my God.
Each painting is different than
Yeah.
the
Yes.
other one.
Yeah. You
Yes.
can you can tell us about it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is called Come On. And it's basically people invest time in each other. And when it's time to put up or shut up, you really get to see what's what. All right, I'm going to show the next one. This one is called
Well,
Spaced Out. And that's what the numbers right here stand for. The numbers in the alphabet spaced out. And it's kind of like being lost, looking around you, not seeing what's in front of you, distractions, and just being hooked up to the same old, same old. And what it is really just trying to come to some point in your life where you say, what's more important, me getting something done or this be or what's around me. We have another one. This is called Packed Heart. It's just to a point where certain things you do have to leave because it's just too much wear and tear on your heart. It's sad, but it's worth it in the end.
Wow.
This is called Poor Man's Cry. The rich man cannot get much sleep because he's so concerned about money. The money is running him. The poor man is the one who has the things that money can't buy and is finally realizing that, hey, I need my soul in order before the money because with that I can keep things.
Each one is very different than the next one.
Mhm.
And this is called Wait.
They're very psychological.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is when you're about to do something, but something tells you to hold off. Very important. It's keeping you from things that could really hurt you. Now, this one,
Oh, jeez.
Mhm. Wow.
this is called and dedicated to veterans and homeless people in the United States, people who don't have the resources that they need, even though one way or another it all funnels through. It's just not getting to the right people. And so this is one of the bigger collections.
You are watching Creative Chronicles on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Share, please, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching
This is called Intro to CA. It's an introduction of what we really see, an emotional standpoint from the country and what we go through. And the last one is called We're Here. This is dedicated
That's
to,
nice.
Mhm.
yeah, this is dedicated to, once again, veterans and homeless people, uh, our forefathers who passed fighting for this country.
Now,
Oh, we have a phone call.
Mhm.
hello.
Yes,
Creative Chronicles.
I
yes.
think we have a telephone call.
Okay.
Is there anybody there? We're waiting for the caller to speak with Edward Young.
Hello.
I hear. Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Wow, hi. I was watching tonight, and I was just checking out his art. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. Um, it
Thank
kind
you.
of yes, it's beautiful. It reminds me of like the J.J. Evans type of art. I don't know what you call that.
Yeah.
What do you call that? But it's very
I don't know. Uh uh I call it testimonial art. That's what it is to me.
testimonial art.
Now we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, awesome. So what is
Yes.
your inspiration?
Life and what I go through, mainly the
Right.
stuff inside. I paint in massive spurts. So what I'll do, I'll go out in society, live my life, do whatever I normally do. And once that's all done, I have all this stuff, all these emotions and feelings and all this stuff jarred up. And I'll sit in the art studio for a while and just dump everything out. I'm liable to have 15, 20 paintings after it's done.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
if I want to see more of you, where can I find you?
Uh, EAYIII, that's three eyes.com.
Okay. What city are you from?
I'm from DC.
Oh, you're from DC.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I
Maryland, DC area.
and I think his artworks can be bought right on the website as
Website.
well.
Yeah, you can put in you can go to the contacts page and put in any inquiries or any paintings you see in the painting section of the uh, website. And I also do
Okay.
graphic designs. And I was explaining to them about a project I have coming up called the exhibition. I went in the
Uh-huh.
studio, recorded 10 sounds, painted 10 pictures, and those pictures look exactly like the recording I made.
Mhm.
So you will see what you hear and hear what you see.
Mhm.
Oh wow, wow! I'm very interested in seeing more and getting more information about your art. I'm going to go to that website.
Yeah,
Um, Again, I think your art is really really wonderful. It's beautiful.
thank you.
And when I saw it, I just thought about that J.J. Evans type stuff, and it just kind of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well,
But
everywhere we all have somebody who left seeds behind to inspire us for certain things. It wasn't in my intent to do it, but it just came out that way. You know?
okay, okay, well that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I definitely am an admirer from what I've seen
Thank
so
you.
far, and I'm definitely gonna follow you from this point on.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
All
Well,
right, hon, you have a great night, and I'll definitely continue to follow you.
all right. Thank you.
All right, hon, you have a great night. Bye bye.
You also.
Oh,
Thank you for
Thank
calling in.
you.
Thank you so much. And I have a question now. This all of this artwork that we're seeing, it seems to have a very psychological character to it. Like, without even you explaining to us, we can, it resonates in that sense. And so, what I'd like to know is, what how is it important in the context of the time that we're all living in right now, today? Why is this artwork synchronized well with the time that we're living in?
Because uh, I am very in tune with people. Some people cool to be around, but I pay attention
Hmm.
to interior
Hmm.
things that are going on inside. I
Hmm.
can't help it.
Hmm.
Um, I can't help it. I observe a lot in everything around me. I was always taught that as a kid.
Hmm.
You see what's around you. You learn. You know body language.
Hmm.
I read one day, out of the abundance of a man's heart, so his mouth shall speak it.
Hmm.
And so my grandmother used to always tell me, God rest her soul, that uh, that's why God gave you two ears and one mouth, so
uh,
you can hear more.
so your grandmother must have been a great
Oh
influence.
yeah, she was a character. That was my girl.
And who else were you influenced by in your life? What are the influence on your work and life? And who are they? When was it? And why?
Uh, Drawing. Uh, I was in elementary school, and there was this guy in there. He would draw a little GI Joe man or whatever.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, I wanted to draw. It was in me. I just didn't know it. Started to come out. And so I said, I drew one too, because he was selling them for a dime. I figured it was good money. And the guy looked at his and said, I like this. And he looked at mine and he tore it in half and threw it in my face. And he said, yours is ugly.
Oh my God. Oh, that must have been very.
I no, I love him. I love him. He brought out a animal. He brought out a beast. He pushed me further. I would say he was one of the biggest ones to push me furthest to continue and not stop. If it not had been for that in him, I would thank him right
So it's
now.
one of these stories, it doesn't really happen very often that, people turn their life around after, something negative happening. So
Yeah,
you definitely took advantage of it and you elevated from there.
yeah. And I'm used to dog fights. I've
Mhm,
I've I've done that all my life.
mhm,
It's one thing to fight, but a dog fight, man,
mhm.
and it builds character.
Right, and who influenced you musically?
I would say Run DMC all the way down up to probably now.
Mhm,
I have studied that hip hop form. I love hip hop because it can combine all different genres of music. It
mhm,
doesn't just have to stay that one way. You can put country in it, you can put jazz in it, you can put every type of, it's like a gumbo, a pot of gumbo.
mhm,
And so you have so much creativity in it and versatility and different things you could put in it.
mhm,
That's why I love it.
mhm,
Now I am a big fan of jazz, Coltrane and Satchmo, and
mhm,
I like the Animals. I like
mhm,
Sliding the Family Stones. I love Jimmy.
mhm,
I listen to all kinds of music.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, and for the future, what kind of how what can you tell us about what kind of seeds from within you would like to germinate for the future beyond this exhibition and in the coming years?
What I will be doing once the exhibition is done and it gets in heavy rotation, we will be starting an apparel line called Wind Chill, and the slogan is "Cool is the ultimate rule." It will be more apparel that is quality fabrics and reasonable prices
Mhm,
because uh, it needs to be that way. Now, we will start trying to go through football teams and things for the youth first, and then we'll branch it out from there. But everything starts with planting seeds with the young.
mhm,
We need our children back.
mhm,
And I'm an 80s baby. So
mhm,
I play part of the blame for these kids and sometimes being a little outrageous. But you want to know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, and this will be short and sweet. We say kids this, kids that, kids that. It's one thing to win. It's another thing knowing how to win.
mhm,
We
mhm,
have to
Right,
teach them how to win.
right.
mhm, mhm,
That is very important. You can't write people off because they didn't have the proper things or the proper foundation that you had. You can't just write the kids off. They need our help. And a lot of the kids, they're cool. It's just bad body language and writing them off. They get tired of it, just like we got tired of it.
mhm, mhm,
Definitely.
mhm.
I can still hear you, but we in so much rhythm.
What's up?
So we got to laugh anyway. That's
Oh, hey, look, if you don't laugh, you're gonna have a hard life.
so
I know that's
laughter
right.
is a softener, right?
Humor is medicine to the bones.
Absolutely. That's what that in countries of war that I've been in, that's their formula too. It's
Yeah,
always looking for that laugh at every moment,
yeah.
definitely.
Of
Keeps you
course,
young and living long.
Hmm.
exactly. You ever just been heartached or hurt, and then all of a sudden something funny happens, and
Hmm.
that pain goes away right then and there?
I
Right.
think also that in the greatest moments of tragedy in a person's life, I think that's at the moment when they actually start laughing and understanding what comedy is.
Yeah, you don't see too
I'm
many
sorry, we're gonna
comedians.
get an ID,
All
and
right.
then we're
Huh?
gonna continue with the conversation.
Okay.
Mhm.
You are watching Creative Chronicles live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Let me see if we talking about comedy. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
I actually there is like a realm of comedy in your works, even though they're very deep, but they are, I don't know, they're figurative in a way, but they have this little comic feature in all of them, like a comic film, a very light comic film.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think you have to know how to convey anything. I think everybody has the right to their opinion or how they want to express themselves, but it's a way to you have to know who and what is in front of you in order to serve it in the proper way.
And don't you, I read also that you take a lot, you're very concerned about what is going to happen to the audience internally when they witness and experience your um,
Exhibition project.
yeah, and that's do you think now that you've been ripening this multimedia process, that somehow you can feel what's going to resonate, like what frequencies with what images, I don't know, do you feel like you can cure through your artwork by putting certain things together that you've proved have an effect in some way, or
It
is it
just
more lucid?
it just depends who wants to digest it or how I serve it.
Mm-hmm.
It should be presentable. It should be quality. It should be all those things. They deserve that. If they're going to purchase something from EAYI, it should be quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very, very important. Um, and as far as like, I mean, look, I tell people all the time, you want to hear the ugly truth or a pretty lie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but with this album, it will be really feel good song, and it will be very taboo type of songs that people don't like to talk about too much, or topics people don't like to talk about too much.
Mm-hmm. Like what, if I may ask? Can you
I have a
about
song. I have a song called "Black Cop White Boy,"
Mhm,
and the whole purpose of the song is to put the shoe on the other foot.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
not ridiculing anybody. It's actually a story of if the roles were reversed.
mhm. Yeah,
Like,
it's the word
then,
I like that relates to that is dystopian,
yes.
dystopian image. I did that one time during the 2020 lockdown. I
Mhm.
wrote a piece that was inspired by a Spanish filmmaker.
Uh-huh.
Time having less COVID, a lot less COVID than, for example, in Europe and the United States. And so I started like reversing the roles, putting the shoe on the other foot, where suddenly Americans were fleeing at borders, and they were trying very hard to get into country like Africa, and they were being held at the border and interrogated for hours and hours, for days on end, and then with time they were just left on the street, just hoping and wanting so badly just to for someone to look at them or say hello to them or to be invited to some kind of party or something. And um, just remembering that other world they had left behind. um yeah, it made me think of that. Putting the shoe on the other foot creates a whole other, yeah.
Yeah. And then it keeps you from judging people
Mm-hmm.
because you're putting the shoe on the other foot is not judging. It's just saying, look at look at where I'm looking at. Put yourself in my shoes and see where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I think putting the shoe on the other foot is way much better than pointing at people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because a lot of people do judge.
Yeah. Well, people judge a lot of times because they don't want to look in the mirror.
And
Right.
also, well, from what I've seen, also there's a vast portion of people who they're just in another state of mind. You can tell them that you're starving, or you can tell them all these kind of things, and they understand it mentally. But there's so much in this other mental world, you know, that they don't really realize that that hunger has a feeling, that they don't understand they don't understand what that implies. You know, they understand things in a certain way, and but they don't get it, you know. And I think sometimes ruling bodies, I think, sometimes have that because somehow they're very privileged, and they know all the statistics, they know what's happening where, they want to do good somehow, but they're just not, they're not understanding the implications, or maybe, I don't know, or I mean
Yeah, I
they're
tell you this, and I make this short and sweet. You
okay.
are, and I say this all the time. You hang around garbage all day, you're gonna smell like it.
Hmm.
You hang around the bakery all day, you're gonna smell like baked goods.
Like me.
That's
Everything what you feed yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually is what's going to come out you. That's it. It's
Hmm.
no harder than that. You want to change who you are, change what you around.
But for the same token, that's what you're saying is absolutely correct. I just ponder on people also who, for example, don't want to be bothered by something that's so, a person who's very desperate, or a refugee who was, you know, who's walking from country to country, or someone who needs help. They don't want to feel that thing. They just want to stay in their, they're searching also for going to go something what they consider as higher and higher in their own you know.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
you can. I mean, people, we all adults. We're all going to make our own decisions.
Mhm.
That's just what it is.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to be a person who can choose. They don't want to be a victim of circumstances.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Ooh, that got sad for a second.
I didn't feel anything.
I'm glad y'all laughing. We needed that laugh real quick. Now you see just that moment we had talked about it started getting slow and you know we were getting heavy in thought
Hmm.
and just that laugh brings you. That's the power of humor.
Hmm. Yes.
right.
Humor has a lot of power. That is one of the most underrated strengths.
Hmm.
Well, we are down to the last minute.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Yes, and I want to thank you, ladies. Thank you all both for everything. Even the engineer. I
Hmm.
heard him a couple times. Didn't see him. Tell him I said hi. It came back on. We heard everything. It
Okay.
worked out great.
Wonderful. Yes. Yes. It's so I don't know what it is, but it's such a great experience to have you here, and
Thank you.
thank you for your artwork. And I'll definitely be following you. And I thank Jesus for putting me in contact with you. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you,
Yes,
ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
accepting the invitation to be on the
All
show.
right, and I'll be letting you all know about the art show,
Yes,
the exhibition in July.
Okay.
for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
All
I would
right.
love to be there.
And not hopefully, I will be in Detroit to do a show there. I don't know where at, but I will get there sooner than later.
If you need anything, just let us know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. You are watching Creative Chronicles, and thank you so much for tuning in with Viva and myself, Jesus Washington. Until next week.
All right.
Bye bye.
All
Thank you.
right. Bye.
Adios.